Good morning, everyone. Today is Thursday, August 7th. Let's start with what is due today. So a few things I should mention is the end of term one is tomorrow. What does that mean for you? Basically, it just means that you will be getting a midterm report card. So everything up until now will be on your midterm report card. So that being, here, I'll show you. All the quizzes that we've done so far in Unit 1 and the Unit 1 summative task. And then all of Unit 2, which is all the quizzes, quiz 5, 6, 7, quiz 5 and 6, and then the Unit 2 task. And the quizzes up to quiz 7 and 8. So quiz 9 and 10, anything after this point will not be on your midterm report card. Anything after this point here. Oh, hopefully you guys can see that. So this is the last thing that will be on your midterm report card. Your Unit 3 task is not going to be on your midterm report card. So just so you know. So all the quizzes from Unit 1, 2, summative tasks, Unit 1, 2, and then the 2 quizzes from Unit 3. Any questions on that? Yep. Probably not, because I just checked in. You will get it back tomorrow, August 8th, end of the day. So yeah, August 8th usually. So yeah. And yeah, that's it. Then let's get started. Today we're doing the algebra of quadratics. Oh, and today's there's a quiz due. Quiz 7 is actually due today, and then I've also opened up quiz 8 in case someone wants to try it early, and that's closing tomorrow. And in case anyone wants to do it early, that's fine too. All right, the algebra of quadratics. We are doing a minds-on activity, learning goals, expanding factoring, and then some questions. So match the equation to the color. This is your minds-on. This is something that we went over yesterday. Hopefully you remember how to do some of this. Let's see. The way to do this, if you forgot, is to look at the vertex for each function. So let's start with number 1. The vertex h and k value. H is equal to not -1, but +1. Remember, h is the opposite. And then k is equal to 2. So that means my vertex should be at 1. The x-axis is 1. Y-axis is 2. It's right over here. So this can only be red. So red's the only parabola. That's the vertex that's over here. And to double check, just as a assurance, is this parabola supposed to be opening up? Well, the a value is +1. So yes, it should be opening up. So yeah. Next one, h is equal to not 2, but -2, and k is equal to 1. So we look at our x-axis, -2 is here, and +1 is here. And the only parabola that has a vertex at that point is blue. And then we're just going to keep doing this. So h is equal to -2, k is equal to -1. Go back to -2, go down to -1, and we know this has to be green. Easy peasy. Next, we have h is equal to +2, k is equal to +1. So 2, 1. 2, 1. Here we go, purple. That's it. Next, we have h is equal to -1, k is equal to +2, h is -1, that's here. +2, 1, 2, it's got to be orange. And the last one is h is equal to +1, and k is equal to -2. So 1 and -2, it's got to be black. Simple. Let's move on. All right, perform a binomial expansion, factor trinomials. Let's see. Success criteria. You're going to be able to describe the steps in the distributive property and identify a product and sum in a trinomial. Expanding polynomials. What does that mean? We're going to be multiplying. So the distributive property, we use the distributive property to multiply a polynomial by another polynomial. So the example of this is this right here. And what you need to do is understand that whenever you have something in front of a bracket, this is considered multiplication. It's not addition, not subtraction, not division, not exponent. It's multiplication. So this is going to be a times b plus a times c. So this is going to look like a b plus a c. That's it. And this is called the distributive property, meaning you're distributing the term in front of this bracket to every single term inside that bracket. So another example would be, let's say if I have a and I have b plus c plus, let's say, x. What is this going to be? It's going to be a b plus a c plus a x. Because remember, it multiplies with every single term inside that bracket. All right. Next up, we have something called FOIL. I'm not sure if you guys remember this from grade 10. But this is when you have two binomials and you're multiplying them together. So when you have two brackets together like this, that means you're multiplying the two brackets. And the way to do this is to first start with the first term. And I recommend drawing arrows. It makes my life easier. It's more organized, easy to see what's happening. So you take A and you multiply it by C. Then you take A again and you multiply it by D. And if there was a third letter in here, you would also multiply A by that letter. But in this case, we're just dealing with two letters per bracket. Once you've multiplied every single thing within that second bracket by A, you now start with B and you do the same thing. So now you do B times C plus B times D. And obviously, if there was a third letter, you would also do to that one. In this case, there's only two. So now what does that look like, the final answer? The final answer looks like this. What's A times C? A, C. What's A times D? Don't forget that plus sign, plus AD. And now A is done, so now we're moving on to B. What's B times C? Plus BC. And B times D is plus BD. That's the answer. Pretty straightforward. Nothing too complicated. Let's now try with actual examples that you will be expected to do. Here we have x plus 2 and x plus 3. So first I'm going to draw that arrow. And then draw this arrow. So x times x is x squared. And then x times 3 is plus 3x. Okay, baby. And then 2 times x is 2x. And 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 3 is not 5, but it's not 2 plus 3. So don't make that mistake, please. Now, there's an extra step for this specific example. Let's start. So the extra step is to realize that we have two terms that are similar. What does that mean? Or like terms, sorry. And like terms are terms that have the same they're similar in that they have the same variable with the same exponent. So in this case, 3x and 2x have the same variable, which is x, and they both have an exponent of 1. It's an invisible one, but still 1. So we can combine them. We can add them together or subtract them depending on what the sign is. In this case, it's just 3x plus 2x, so our final answer is going to be x squared plus 5x plus 6. And in this case, it is 5x and not 6x because you're adding 2 and 3. A lot of students make that mistake with 2 and 3. They think 2 times 3 is 5 for some reason. All right, let's move on. Here we have x times x again, and then x times 5, and then minus 1 times x, and minus 1 times 5. Here the trick is that negative sign. A lot of students make mistakes over there. So let's do x times x first. So x times x is x squared. X times 5 is plus 5x. Now here we have negative 1. What's negative 1 times x? It's negative 1x. And then negative 1 times 5 is negative 5. So you do not put that plus sign in these cases because the number is negative. Here we also have like terms that we can combine. So this is going to be x squared. What's 5x minus 1x? It's going to be 4x. And then we have minus 5 here. That's the answer. All right. Boom. Let's go. We have more examples. Okay. In this question, we're asked to write the following equations in standard form. If you've forgotten from previous lessons, standard form is y is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. All right. That being said, all you need to do is expand / multiply everything. There's a 3 in front. I'm going to leave that till the end. What does that mean? Well, I'm going to multiply these 2 brackets first. It's always easier to multiply 2 things at once than like 3 things at once, because then it just gets really complicated. So we're just going to multiply the 2 brackets like we've learned, the arrows, and don't forget that 3. You have to write that 3. So y is equal to 3. I'm going to write a big giant bracket here. X times x is x squared. Okay, well, we do work. X. Okay, do big work. So x times negative 4 is negative 4x. Okay, do a little work. Negative 2 times x is negative 2x. And here's a trick. What's negative 2 times negative 4? It's positive 8. So just, oh my gosh. And now we are going to combine the like terms, which are right over here.
It's red.
And x squared.
Daddy, it's red.
It is red, Bubba.
Look outside. Red.
What color do you want?
Red. Red.
Do you want blue?
Yeah, I want blue.
Okay, we'll do blue. Alright, so the next step is to, after you've added or subtracted your like terms, so negative 4x minus 2x is negative 6x. Now that 3, don't forget that 3, we're going to multiply that 3 to every single term within that bracket there. So this is going to be y is equal to 3x squared. 3 times negative 6 is negative 18. And 3 times 8 is 24. And that's the final answer. So pretty straightforward, just multiplying and adding or subtracting stuff. Here we have something different. Here we have negative 2, and then we have 2 brackets. Hello, x plus 1, and then there's a square sign here. So this is a trick. What you need to do is you need to rewrite this as y is equal to negative 2, brackets x plus 1, brackets x plus 1. Remember, if you've forgotten, square means to multiply